there's a strange thing that happens at the end of a journey. The closer you get to leaving, the less it feels like an ending. More like a pause you didn't fully agree to. Like the world just quietly continues turning while you're still trying to understand what it gave you. In Cambodia, it didn't arrive all at once. It unfolded, like water finding its own level. We didn't really come here knowing what we were looking for. Temples, yes. Angkor Wat, of course. The kind of place you grow up seeing in books and documentaries and assume it belongs to history more than to the present. But what we found here wasn't just history. It was rhythm. And now, here on Koh Rong, that rhythm softens. The ocean stretches out in every direction, like it has no interest in being understood, just experienced. The drone lifts above the island and suddenly everything becomes shape and movement. Water folding into light, shorelines breathing in and breathing out. A geography that refuses to stay still. It doesn't feel like land and sea are separate things here. More like one is always becoming the other. After days of temples and stone and carved symmetry, this feels like release. Not absence of meaning, just a different kind of it. Where Angkor asked you to look up, to align, and to understand, the ocean asks nothing at all. It just continues. From above, Koh Rong looks unreal. A thin line between turquoise and deep blue. White sand dissolving at the edges like it's not fully decided where it belongs. And the longer you watch it, the more you realize nothing here is fixed. Everything is in motion. Even the stillness is temporary. And maybe that's what makes it feel so different from everything we've seen so far. In the temples, meaning is carved. In the ocean, meaning is moving. One holds time, the other dissolves it. There's a temptation when you travel through places like Cambodia to try to find a single thread that ties everything together. A lesson, a message, a conclusion. But the more time passes, the more it feels like the opposite is true. It's not one story, it's layers. Like water over stone, like tides over sand, like memory over time. And somewhere in that layering, something begins to settle. Not an answer, just a feeling. That everything we've been calling separate might actually just be a different form of the same thing. Stone, water, humanity, movement, stillness are all part of the same thing unfolding. Koh Rong doesn't explain this. It just lets you sit inside it. The heat and the wind, the salt on your skin that never really leaves. The sound of waves that don't repeat themselves even when they sound like they do. And somewhere in all of that, you stop trying to interpret it and just start being in it. There's a moment later in the day when we leave the ocean behind for just a little while. Not because it's finished with us, but because something else is waiting inland. A small place tucked away, almost unassuming. Nature's kitchen. The kind of spot you will definitely miss if you are not looking for it, which honestly feels fitting. Because most of the things that end up mattering don't announce themselves. We take a tuk-tuk through Koh Rong, dust rising behind us in soft trails. Palm trees bending slightly in the heat, and the island moving around us like it's not particularly interested in our urgency. Which, again, it isn't. And when we arrive, slowly, casually, like all the best things do, there's a river here, and something unexpected living inside it. River otters, playful, unbothered, completely indifferent to the idea that it might be the highlight of someone else's day. It moves through the water like it belongs to it in a way that doesn't need explanation. No performance, no awareness of being watched, just instinct, just presence. And it's funny because after everything this journey has held, the scale of Angkor Wat at sunrise, the silence of ancient corridors, the precision of carved stone that mirrors the cosmos, it's this that stays with you. Something small, alive, and uncomplicated. There's a tendency when we think about sacred places to imagine that they have to be grand or ancient or monumental. That Cambodia keeps undoing that idea, quietly, without insisting. Sacredness here doesn't always look like temples. Sometimes it looks like water moving through a river. Sometimes it looks like a creature playing without self-consciousness. Sometimes it looks like laughter at a table that doesn't need to be anywhere else. And somewhere in that simplicity, something begins to make sense. Not intellectually, but bodily. Like your nervous system finally stops resisting what has been trying to understand. The churning of the ocean of milk. It's easy to think of it as mythology, a story about gods and demons, about an ocean being stirred until something divine emerges. But being here, moving through these places, it starts to feel less like a story and more like a pattern, a reflection, something that repeats itself in quieter ways. Every day here has felt like that churning. Moments of stillness, moments of overwhelm, moments of beauty you can't quite hold on to, moments of discomfort you can't avoid, all of it moving together, turning something inside of you without asking for permission. And the more you travel through it, the more you realize the point was never to separate the nectar from the poison. It was to be changed by the turning itself. Because even here, in something as simple as a river cafe on Koh Rong, you can feel it. Life is always moving. It's always mixing. It's always revealing something new underneath what you thought was already understood. And maybe that's what Cambodia has been teaching all along. Not clarity, not certainty, but relationship with place, with people, with impermanence, with yourself. The kind of relationship that doesn't resolve, it deepens. As the day continues to unfold, it becomes harder to separate what is travel from what is understanding. Harder to tell where the experience ends and where you begin. Because everything here, the ocean, the river, the island, the people, they don't feel like separate things anymore. They feel like variations of the same movement. And somewhere in that realization, you stop trying to categorize it and just let it be what it is. By the end of a journey like this, it becomes harder to tell where the places end and where you begin. What started as a trip to Cambodia slowly became something else entirely. Not a checklist of temples, not a series of destinations, but a kind of slow unfolding. A changing of pace, a different way of seeing, and a different way of living. Angkor Wat at sunrise, the stillness of ancient stone holding a map of the universe, the precision of something built, not just to be seen, but to orient you. The 1,000 lingas carved into riverbed rock, water flowing over symbols that were never meant to stay still. A reminder that even the sacred is in motion. Phnom Kulen, waterfalls full of life and laughter, monks and families and children all sharing the same space without separation. Where the sacred didn't ask for silence, it included everything. And Koh Rong, the ocean, the softness, the slowing down, the realization that not everything meaningful has to be ancient or carved or explained. Some of it just has to be lived. And somewhere across all of it, the same story kept returning. The churning of the ocean of milk. At first, it felt like mythology, something distant, something symbolic, a story about gods and demons and cosmic balance. But the longer you sit with it, the more it stops feeling like a story and starts feeling like something familiar, something human. Because life does feel like that churning, not always in a dramatic way, sometimes in the quiet accumulation of moments, the beautiful ones, the uncomfortable ones, the uncertain ones, all of them turning something inside of you without asking for permission. We spend so much time trying to move towards clarity, towards certainty, towards the nectar of understanding. But maybe clarity was never the point. Maybe it was the turning itself, The willingness to stay in motion while things are still becoming clear, while they're still uncomfortable. And in Cambodia, in its own way, it teaches you how to do that. Not through instruction, but through experience. Through the heat and stone and water and people and distance and arrival and departures. Through everything happening all at once. But what stays with me the most isn't just the landscapes, it's the people, the kindness, the quiet ease of being welcomed into a place without needing to earn it, the way life continues around you without stopping for you. And somehow, it still makes space for you to belong inside of it. And that's what I'll carry home. Not just images, but a different rhythm, a slower one, a more attentive one, a more present one. And maybe that's what travel is really like. Not escape, not collection, but recalibration. A way of remembering what it feels like to be inside your own life again. When we left Cambodia, we didn't know what would come next. We just knew something had shifted, and it had, quietly, completely. And since this journey has ended, we found ourselves standing in another ancient landscape, another civilization that asked different questions and asked us to listen in different ways. And somehow, we arrived at echoes of the same truths, a place where stone still reaches towards the sky, where time feels both measured and infinite, where history doesn't feel finished, it's continuing. That story is coming next, and I can't wait to share it with you. So if you've been here through all of this, through the temples and the oceans and the rivers and islands, thank you. Thank you for walking this journey with us, for being present in it, and for noticing alongside of us. If this series has resonated with you, I'd love for you to subscribe and stay with us. Not because the story needs numbers, but because it continues. And this is only one chapter in something so much larger. Because places like Cambodia don't really end when you leave them. They stay with you, and they echo. They shift the way you see everything that comes after. And maybe that's the real churning of the ocean of milk. Not something that happened once in myth, but something that continues inside every experience that changes us. So as this chapter closes, we don't really say goodbye. We just carry it forward into everything that comes next. And wherever this journey takes us, to deserts, to rivers, mountains, or seas, we'll keep asking the same question. What is this place teaching me? And what is it turning inside me? Because the world is full of places that remember, and we're only just beginning to listen.